Okay, guys have been asked to do a video, kind of like a tutorial on how I do my cards, and I'm going to attempt it. I've done a couple videos, but I'm not, in my opinion, I'm not that great at it, so maybe practice makes perfect, but they asked, so I'm gonna give it to them. The first thing I'm gonna do is, you can see what I'm using. These are all Hello Bluebird. You can see the stamp set here. They come from a variety of different stamp sets, and I will list those for those that are interested. And then this is a Hello Bluebird die. This die cuts out, and I put a piece of paper behind it so that it doesn't, the pieces don't all fall out. But this actually cuts out in each individual piece, which is really great when you're coloring, because we all know that when we're inking, it's hard to ink unless we mask, and who wants to mask? I know I'm lazy that way, so I don't really want to do that. So I'm going to turn the die over, and I'm going to show you the pieces, but see if I can do this without them all falling out. So you can see how the die cuts. Each individual piece is cut out, which is great because you can go ahead and pull up just the section that you want to, like this is the ice, you can just go ahead and color that real quick. You can color the background, you can color the trees. So it really is a convenient die, and it's kind of like putting a piece of puzzle together. So that makes it pretty cool too. I've done a couple of these now, and I will be honest, I am hooked. I love the idea, I love the concept. So I bought a bunch of them. Hello Bluebird had a big sale a couple weeks ago, and yeah, I bought a lot. So anyways, let's get started. My background is going to consist of these three colors, Broken China, Peacock Feathers, and Bluebird Sketch. And then I've got my images. I'm not going to color all of the images on camera. In fact, this might be broken up into two videos. We'll do the background and set it up, and then we'll go ahead and do the images. We'll color those in another video. So I'm going to move this off to the side. I'm going to move this off to the side because the first thing that we want to do is color our background. So I typically will start with the lightest color first. And it's not necessary to go all the way down. In fact, I'm not even going to go, I'm probably going to go maybe a quarter of the way down. Maybe a little bit more than a quarter. Because it's going to be covered up. So you're not going to see it. And I tend to do it upside down. So I'm going to move this off camera. Right now I'm using the Broken China, and here, we'll put that under there for that. But yeah, I'm using the Broken China. And I am using Picket Fence brushes, which I have the Picket Fence, I have Tailored Expression. I have not gotten any of Simon Says, but I do want to try them. I've heard that they're really good. So, and I apparently had some ink on my brush already. So it's a little bit greener because I didn't wash them last time, but I have a dedicated color for each, or a dedicated brush for each color. And the good thing with oxides is that if you get a smear, it's very easy to go ahead and get them out, you know, just by putting more ink on and blending over it. So that's the good thing. And this is going to be the background that you can see through the trees. So really, you're only going to see a little bit of the sky, not a whole lot, and we'll add some snow. And for my snow, I like to do a combination of, it's actually called gouache. I think that's the correct spelling, but who knows? Or correct pronunciation, I should say. But I don't know for sure. And I'm hoping that I'm on camera, because I can't see what I'm doing in the camera, so Okay, so now that I've got the broken china all down, and I've gone probably halfway, maybe a little less, we're gonna go ahead and don't mind me, it's a rainy day, so yeah, I'm in my jammies. So yeah, I'll get dressed right before hubby comes home. I'm kidding. So now we're gonna go to Peacock Feathers. And I'm not gonna go all the way down. I'm just gonna go like maybe 3/4 of the way down. With this color. And I have a chamois right here, which I tend to use for in between, just for wiping all the color off or trying to get it as much off as I can. And now I'm gonna go back to broken china because you wanna kind of blend the two together. So I would start back the tip of where your broken china starts and kind of blend the two together. I know there's not really a big contrast between the two, but once I add the blueprint, that'll definitely bring it. You'll see the difference. And I go back and forth just a couple times because I like to make sure that it's completely blended. Okay. And now we're going to go to Blueprint Sketch. And I'm going to wipe this off because I really don't want to bring the peacock feathers into my blueprint. Okay. And I don't do too much of this. Just a little bit around the top. Some may like it a little bit darker, and if you do, you can add chip sapphire is a good one. Also black soot if you wanted to add a much darker night sky, but I'm not really going that dark. So we're gonna keep this one kind of light. I've even added purple, and believe it or not, purple is very, very pretty on it. Sounds kind of crazy, I know, but it actually does look really good. And I'm sorry, I keep wiping my brush, so don't mind that. But I figure you guys didn't need to see that on camera. Okay, so that's pretty much my night sky. We're gonna add some splatter to it, but we're gonna wait until after we color. And let me just wipe this up real quick. Okay, and put the covers back on this. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the pieces, and you're gonna see I'm gonna kind of show you what they look like on there. Like I said, they are like a puzzle. And I'm gonna choose to leave my trees separate, and I'll show you what I mean by that, because I really want to see the background through the trees. So I'm pulling all these pieces out that I will not need. You are going to need some of them, but you will not need all of them. And you should cut your paper down to exact size that your frame is. So I will cut that down afterwards, but we're going to put that on there. And here's where you start putting it together like a puzzle. So you're going to put your trees on there. And you won't know the exact placement until you get all the pieces down, but then you'll see. So we'll move them around when we need to. Okay, so there's that piece, and then this is the piece that's going to determine where your trees are. So with that being said, you're going to move this up, and you can really glue them down so that your thing doesn't keep moving on you. I'm not doing that for video purposes, but just make sure you have it where it needs to go. We'll start with the bottom first, actually. That's the easiest way. So this is all going to be, if I can get that piece out, this is all going to be your snow. So you got this piece here, and this is where I say it's like building a puzzle. If you start from the bottom, it's going to be very easy to do. I'm sorry. Apparently, I don't know what I'm doing here. Did it turn on me? Oh, it turned on me. That's why it's not working. Okay, so there you go. I was showing you the back piece. That's why it wasn't working. So if it's not working like a puzzle, turn your pieces over. Okay, so this is what it's going to end up looking like once you get it all glued down after your pieces are inked. And like I said, start with the bottom first, and then you can go ahead and go up. And I know it looks like it's a pain, but really, truly, if you ink it and glue it down, it's not. I'm playing around with pieces that are loose, and yeah, that's why it's seeming like it's a little bit harder to do. But let's go ahead and color it, and then we'll show you. So we're going to take, this is going to be snow down here. This is going to be my ice, this here. And then this is going to be another snowbank. And then, of course, your trees. I want my trees brown, and then I add snow to it. I just like contrast. I know if there's that much snow, the tree should probably be white, but I like a contrast. So we're going to go with the brown for now. So let's get out all the pieces. These are your 3 pieces. Okay, and I usually use, for inking those, I usually use Distress ink. And I have Distress handles that will ink those for me. Of course, I don't have, oh, I do have it out. So let me grab my Distress ink. Okay. And I'm sorry about that. On these, I'm using Distress ink only because I like it light. So on the bottom, on the snow part of it, I'm going to go ahead and just ink it up a little bit. And I start off the page, you know, we all know the rules with that, just inking it a little bit. And I'm inking with Tumble Glass, which is my lightest color. And I know you can't really see it, but once you put it up against the white, you will see it. And I like it to have kind of a minimal blue. I don't want a whole lot of blue because I'm going to add some shadows and whatnot. So we're going to do that again with the top layer of snow. So you'll see now it looks like this. So now you see you got your eyes. The eyes is where we really want the contrast. So I'm going to put these two aside. Now on these, I want to bring some color into the actual ice. So what I will typically do on that is I'll swipe it. And I will swipe it with blues, broken china. Sometimes I even add a little bit of purple on it or a little bit of pink, because we all know that with glass, or with ice, I should say, you can kind of see a reflection and you see different colors. You see variants of colors. So I want a little bit of contrast on my ice, and I want lighter in the middle, but I want the edges to be a little bit darker. And now we're gonna go ahead and ink this part of it. This is where I really want a deeper contrast. So I'm using broken china. And you can see the difference. Now in the snow, I know it looks really white, but we're gonna have our characters on there. And, you know, I usually place them where I think that I want them. And I'm kind of make my little scene. You know, see who's gonna fit on there, who I want on there. We're gonna have the little bunny and the penguin on the ice. You know what? And we're gonna put a little mouse down there. He's actually bringing his friend a present. So those are the characters that I'm gonna have on there. So once this is all inked and this is colored, then you're really gonna see the card come alive. But before we do that, we are going to take all these off. We're gonna move these off to the side because we want to color our trees. And I said before, and this cuts out a perfect frame, just so you know, which is gonna make it easy when putting your puzzle back together. So on my trees, I tend to use E25, E27, and E29. So let me grab those, E27 and E29. And then for a lighter, I usually use, because sometimes I want a real light, so I will use E33 or E31. We'll grab E33. With my darkest color, because I like the wood variation, so I'm just going to go ahead and, they don't have to be perfect, because you're not going to see them, or they're not going to stand out like this, but and I'm not an artist, guys. You know, I'm definitely not an artist. Well, I am in the way that I can make a card, but I can't draw a straight line to save my life. So I just take my marker and I know everybody colors differently. I usually start darkest to lightest, but I'm gonna start with, that was darkest actually. I'm gonna start with 27, and then I'm gonna add more 29, but I don't wanna add too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring in my 27. And I do not make this look pretty because I'm going to be adding more color to it. So I just want to get the color on there so I can start blending in the lighter colors. Now I'm going to take my 25 and bring that in a little bit more. Add a little bit of 33 in there. And now I want to bring in my darkest because I want to give it more definition. And, you know, call me crazy, but I don't like white edges. That's why I've got a scanning cut, because I can't deal with, I know to each your own. It's a matter of preference. I know my girlfriend loves the white edge. I just don't. It's not me. So I cover up all my white, so you really don't see too much white. So we'll go to the next one. And again, I just do this very quick. It's not neat, but you can tell in that it doesn't really matter. When I color my images, I don't do this, so. Pulling in the 27. And I do leave some white space, white spots, so that when I'm dealing with my lightest color, I can go ahead and make sure it's got some highlight. So we've got a little bit of variation, because we all know by looking at trees, we don't have, you know, one solid color brown. No two trees look alike. So I'm going to add in my darkest color again and go over it one more time. I want a little bit more dark in there. And then go back to, and this is where I know it seems a little bit monotonous, and that's why I'm not going to color, you know, all of it in one video. I mean, if you want to watch coloring, you know, that's fine, but I don't want you to have to sit here and watch me color. It's a little bit too much of a contrast for me, so we're going to lighten that a little bit. And again, we're going to do my edges. And obviously when I cut it without a border, so, you know, it doesn't, sometimes you'll lose a little bit of your black line from where you stamped, but to me, it doesn't really matter. It's fine. And then, there we go. So now we got two trees colored, and on to the last one. And then I can show you how we're going to assemble the card. So I guess this video is all about assembling the card. I mean, I've got a little bit of inking in there too, but gonna add a little bit of darker in that one. Pull in the 27. And like I said, it really doesn't look great, but if you stay with me here, And if you have stayed with me, well, thank you. Because like I said, I'm not a pro at videoing. I don't like to hear myself, I guess. And I definitely don't want to watch myself, so you will probably not see me on video, but I will deal with listening. Oh, wrong color. I'm going to go to 27. Now 25. And then my lightest color, and that really isn't a whole lot. It just gives it a little bit more of a highlight. Not much of one, but you can kind of see the the markings on the tree a little bit. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, since this last piece is done, and I think I'm gonna let my friend Jennifer watch this first, and she can tell me if it's worth posting. She could be my guinea pig. Thanks, Jennifer. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and, let me put all these back. Get all this off. Move those out. We'll put these out of the way. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do, and we'll cut down the frame afterwards. We're going to go to my favorite glue, which is Barely Art, which very, very seldom ever, and excuse my fingers, ever clogs on me. So we're going to put a little bit of glue this down. And then we'll start assembling it. I'm going to add a little bit of purple, I think, to my ice. And I will cut this down afterwards. But I like to glue this on first and make sure that, and you're not going to see any of this because it's going to be covered up. So let me go ahead and cut this down real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I add another outside frame to it, so any little bit that's left over, you're not going to see. So this is where we start assembling, but we start assembling at the bottom because it's going to make it a lot easier. Oh, and you know what? I did want to add a little bit of purple to the ice, so we're going to do that real quick. And I just happen to have it out. But I don't want too much on it, so I want to get rid of a lot of the purple. I want ink on there, but I don't want too much ink. So I just want a touch. Okay. I think that's good enough. Just gives it a tint. You probably can't see it on camera, but it does give it a tint. I really should clean my fingers, but it's fine. So now we're going to go ahead and glue on this piece. And again, you can see how it is pretty much just lining up a puzzle, which is the cool part. That's what I love, because it makes your background look amazing. And they do all the work for you. And who doesn't like puzzles? I love puzzles. I could sit here and do a puzzle all day long. I love puzzles and I love paper piecing. So the two of these together are perfect for me. Okay, so now you wanna put your trees on, but you wanna make sure you've got them in the right spot. So this tree is going to go right there in the corner. This tree here is going to go right there. This tree here is going to go right there. So that's pretty much, you know, putting the background together. Getting off my little pieces, my little straggle-alongs. So yeah, there you go. You add some snow. I usually do the snow afterwards because I like the whole thing covered in snow. I don't want to, you know, I don't like just parts of it. When it snows, you've got it in front of your face as well as behind you. So we're going to also add, they're not colored yet, but I'm going to show you how the scene is going to kind of look. You know, you'll be able to kind of see what I'm doing here. We'll put him down here. We'll put the little mousey here. We'll put him up there. We might put him down here. Just play around with it and see how you like it, because that's the good thing, is that you can kind of play with, you know, everything and see how you're gonna like it. And we'll put another tree over here. So that is pretty much going to be my scene. And I know it looks like it's got a lot on it, but I like a lot of my scenes, so it'll be fun. So right now, there's the background. There's how it looks. Okay. Next one will be the coloring video. Thanks for watching.